outside of your YouTube life, what do you like to do in your kind of spare time? How do you keep yourself busy when you're not editing and filming? And
like I, for such a long time, especially before having Indy, I would just feel like my whole weekend with like more filming, more editing. And because like being a YouTuber, it's like you mix your life in with that. But I think more recently, I think a lot of my time obviously is taken up with Indy if I'm not working. But honestly, at the moment, I'm trying to find something to put more of my like time and energy into as well.
Yeah.
Because I think it's good mentally.
Yeah. And so, like, because we were just kind of talking about this before we started recording, in terms of like, I guess it's the work-life balance, is it? In terms of not always being on, but also allowing yourself the time to step out of it when, you know, you're feeling it's getting a bit too much. Because I was saying how, you know, since coming back from Japan, which is, you know, it's ridiculous, it's like 2 months ago, but like just my perspective on things has changed a lot, and my motivation is like up and down, like depending on the day. And, you know, we tried to arrange this interview a couple of times and we were both like, oh,
and I was like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And I was like, do you know what? I'm really not feeling it today either.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so happy that you said that. And, you know, for me, it's what's been really important, I guess, is like recognizing the difference between working and doing things like in the online world and then living in the kind of physical world and doing more things in that physical world. So like, how do you strike that balance for yourself?
I just have struggled with that for a really long time, and I think I was kind of ignoring it. I was trying to push it away, like, oh, at some point I'll, you know, take time for myself and things. And there's such a big self-care movement at, like as well at the moment, so I feel like that's good because it kind of keeps you reminded that you should be doing things for yourself. But I think just when I feel like I'm getting really uptight and stressed and overwhelmed, and when there's really small things and you're just like, this is too much for me, and like I have a big breakdown, I'm like, it's probably time to close the laptop and you know, like go outside or something. But I really enjoy like working out, and I've just started trying to get back into doing a bit of meditation to try and like give myself that actual space. And I just also like, because at the weekend I'm usually just like with my little family and things, I'm just trying to really enjoy just that time. And it's hard because I catch myself like picking my phone up and then I'm like, no, put it down, and it's just like such an addiction. But yeah, I'm trying to be a bit more conscious and just like relax when I'm not online.
And where do you strike the kind of the balance of, you know, like you said, the family life, the work life, because I'm assuming that a lot of your work is done at home. So how do you separate that in your own mind in terms of like, this is work time, this is kind of family time, this is
like what is what?
Because it's like it's all in the same place. It's not like you go out to, I'm assuming anyway, to a workplace.
No. It's like everywhere is my workplace or can be. So Indy goes to nursery during the week, so that's actually been good because it gave me definite times where like start finish. So that did help. And then as well, I've kind of got my little office room, so I don't really go in there much if I'm not like editing or filming or anything. So that's good because it kind of gives me that physical space away, even though it's just upstairs. But I think I really do try and switch off now, whereas before I would work until like, you know, 10, 11 p.m. and just keep going and going.
So now you've got kind of almost more of a reason, isn't it, to with Indy. How old's Indy now?
She's 2.5.
2.5. Ah, cute little bubba.
Thank you.
But how's that impacted things as well? Like just having a little human that you have to raise.
It's crazy. I was going to say mental then. I was like, should I say mental? It changes things so much, especially because, like I always say this, but I was never like a crazy kid person before, and I'd never been around many kids or anything. So I think the whole thing was such like an explosion of child in my life, and like for the first 6 months or so, it was really like I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying to like just trying to survive and like keep her surviving. And then I think gradually I just kind of found the flow, and like when I had a bit of help with her, you know, then it was time for me to do some work or do something for myself. So it's gone really fast, but at this point it's kind of nice. And I think actually after having her, I felt more relaxed in myself, because I think it made me feel more like grounded and more like a purpose. Not that she should be my only purpose, but I felt like, I'm here and I need to be here for her. So it was just quite grounding, I think. And obviously like so much love for a little person.
A tiny little person. It's like two of my really good friends just had a kid literally like 4 or 5 days ago. I went round to see him when he was like literally 2 days old, and it's like literally a tiny little human, and you're just like, oh my god, it's a little person.
It's insane.
It is crazy. And it's like, it's just so exciting to see how they're gonna kind of like
like you're gonna watch them just grow,
raise a person. It's crazy.
It's scary. I'm like, am I messing you up? Like, am I doing okay?
Has there been any challenges that have come with it?
I think more so it's probably me overthinking things, especially because I look back to when she was small, like a baby, and I just worried too much. I feel like I just kept thinking like, oh, other mums are like judging what I'm doing and that I'm not doing that right and things. So I think I've had to like just overcome myself.
Is that as well because because you've got an audience that you feel like maybe there's people out there who are part of the audience who are looking at that and judging that, as well as kind of
like
actual day-to-day mums and stuff. I think it's probably a bit of a mix. That's why though as well I feel like I haven't shown too much of like parenting, so I'll show her bits and bobs of her, but I don't know, I don't even think it's that I'm scared of other people's opinions. I'm just like, I just don't feel like showing that. Personal stuff.
It's like for me,
like I always say there's some stuff, even with like recording, and like, there's some stuff that is so personal. It's like, only like, my friends will be the ones I talk to about it. I won't, put it out there online or in, via the podcast or anything, because it's like, to me, there's a certain line.
Exactly. There's a boundary a little bit.
And it's like, I think that's super interesting. But like, I guess I say that like, when I was like looking through your videos and doing research and stuff, obviously you've got, Jason, your husband, and you've always been quite open with that side of your personal life. Like, how's that developed over time with Jason?
With
Has
him.
it put like does he enjoy being in the videos for a start?
Like he doesn't mind. I think so. At first he was
not
like,
all right, come here, we're recording.
No. So at first he was like, YouTuber, like what is this? And I think he just found it really interesting. And at first I was like scared to show him, because there's this notorious thing for like YouTubers like showing their other halves is like can go well or can be a bit like I don't know, or it can between you feel a bit weird. But I feel like he's kind of okay with it. He's kind of in the middle. My earring just came off. Let me take the other one off so it matches.
So it's fashion, one in, one out.
It's fine. So at first as well, he got involved a little bit. He started his own channel, was trying to find like what he might enjoy doing on YouTube himself. But then I just feel like he felt like it wasn't as much for him. And he didn't really want to be like filming himself, and it just felt odd, so he stopped doing that. But I think that again ties in with kind of like the work-life balance thing. So sometimes he'll be in my vlogs, but I never like going up to him and I'm like, what are you doing today, like, tell everyone. So I think it's just like a respect sort of thing. I'm just like, do you feel like being in it today? Like it's fine if you don't.
And has any part of it put like a strain on the relationship?
But like I keep saying before, when I was like just working, like until really late, then it did. Because he'd be like, oh, do you want to like watch this film or like do something real?
I'm editing.
I was like, no, I've got to get this done, and like really stressing myself out. But now it's a bit better in that way.
But it's so funny you say that, because it's like, that's one of the things that I've been really enjoying in the last couple of weeks. Like, recording this, I've just come off of the back of like a mini social media break. I took like a week of like, I was still posting some stuff because there's people, I've got, friends that I met, funny enough, in Japan who I chat to now through Insta DMs. So I can't avoid being on Instagram because I get the messages and stuff with people. But I took a break from like posting like normally and like just scrolling and watching and all of that. And I feel like what I've really enjoyed is having that space of like not being on my laptop and on my phone till like 10, 11 o'clock, because I'd be like editing a video or like writing something or doing the podcast or like,
just
like,
exhausting yourself.
just like making myself do stuff. And I've just had like a couple of weeks where I've been really quiet with work stuff, which, you know, you could see as a bad thing, but I've seen it as a bit of a blessing. I've had a little social media break, and I've just basically been enjoying going to the park, like going for a walk, sitting and reading my book, just like stuff that I haven't had a lot of time to kind of enjoy and do. And it's like almost like a slowing down process in terms of like, okay, I've been full steam ahead for like 2 years, just over 2 years with the podcast. And, you know, before that I was like music blogging for 8 years. So it's like,
wow.
And running like events and club nights plus full-time work. That's like 10 years of like stuff.
Non-stop.
And it's like, I've just got to this point now. It's like, actually, what I just want to slow down, take it all in, process. And then like when I'm ready, like just step back into it slowly. That's just been so amazing. Like, honestly, like I should be like, when was it? What's today? Thursday. It was Tuesday. I had a really reflective day where like my mind was like 100 miles an hour, like every sort of question, everything. And I think it's something to do with like the new moon or something like that.
Is there another one?
There was a new moon, I think, on Monday. And Tuesday was just like everything was going crazy, like just weird energy. And just I took the day to just like, I went for a massive 2-hour walk in the park, just sat and chilled, meditated in the park for like 15 minutes. And just took the day to kind of, I didn't get anything done.
No, but
until like late in the afternoon, when I was like, actually, I'm going to try and get something done now, because I can't
you
sit
were
here.
doing something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like processing. And we don't give ourselves that time. And I feel like particularly, you know, what you were just saying in terms of like working until late and Jason being like, are you going to come and do something? Like, you kind of need to allow yourself that time to just do something. And slow down. It doesn't always need to be 11 p.m. every night, like every night, 10 p.m, 11 p.m.
And I feel like because there's such the culture now is like hustle, like, and it's like a bad thing if you're not doing 10 things at once, but it will drive you mad. Like, that's how I feel anyway. But how do you feel now going back to scrolling and things? Because I took a bit of a break as well, and now when I just don't like now how distracted it makes me, and I get like angry at myself.
Well, I'm not, to be honest, I'm not a massive scroller anyway. Like, sometimes, I mean, the only time I really scroll, to be honest, is when I'm having my breakfast. I'm just there eating and I'm just flick through my phone. You know, it's passive scrolling. It's not, I don't really engage too much in scrolling. I don't go too far down the feed, or I don't watch loads of stories. So there's like maybe 7 to 10 people whose stories I check regularly when they update it. I don't sit there and watch like what some random you know person who I just happen to be following is doing, kind of thing. But I've seen people who do that. So I can feel like myself reaching for my phone a lot more again, which is a bit annoying. But I'm also quite happy to have time where I just put it in airplane mode, and just if I want to do some writing, it's just like, or I put it on charge and leave it on the opposite side of the room.
I need to start doing that, and like not taking it to bed with me.
Like I don't scroll in bed.
Bad.
Like, I will not look at my phone in bed.
Like, I need to try and do
even
that
in the morning. Like,
that's the first thing I do. And like, you know, everyone now is saying like, don't do that first thing in the morning, because it just starts you off. And I used to like go straight into my emails as well, and like start, you know, it was like looking for work straight away. It's crazy. Actually,
do you know what, thinking about it, that day that I just said on Tuesday, after my breakfast, I just sat on my phone for like 15 minutes just scrolling Twitter and Instagram. And I think maybe that's what triggered the whole like information overload, and like my brain just being at 100 miles an hour all day. So I didn't think about that before. It just occurred to me.
Like when I get lost in it, and it's like I wake up, you know, like when you actually look away and I'm like, I've just wasted, like what am I doing? And it's weird because it's work as well. So sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, it's work, and then I just get distracted. And how do you manage the kind of the mental, like your own mental health? Because you know, we were just talking before, like I said, about, you were saying you've been up and down you know, the last few weeks, and you know, I'm saying the same thing. So like, what do you do to kind of like you know, stay on top of it. Like manage it? I try and just like step away from like everything that I'm doing as soon as I can, as soon as I realize that like I'm actually just getting a quite low. And I never really struggle that much with like mental health, with like social anxiety. I have for quite a while, but over the last year or so, I feel like I've had quite low periods, and I kind of don't know if that's a bit of depression or it hasn't been like diagnosed or anything. But so like a few weeks ago, I had a particularly low time, and it just hit me quite a lot. So I was like, I've not had this before. Like, what is happening? So yeah, that's when I started. Like I said to my manager, I was like, look, next week I just need a week off. Like I just need some time.
Yeah.
But I think I'm still trying to figure that out a little bit as well. Really.
What was the cause of it?
Oh well,
You don't know.
I'm not sure. I feel like I was just taking too much on and like saying yes to things, but for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be a lot more aware of that as well, because I feel like there's been lots of times where I'll say yes to things because I'm like, well, that will do well for me job wise, or like I'll be seen going there, and then I'm like, why? But why? Like, you don't need that, you know. So yeah, just trying to manage myself.
Yeah. And what's the kind of feeling that you have when